A very good afternoon to the viewers of Sunya To, and I have once again my darling friend Sujata Tiwari, who lives in Singapore, and a very good day to you from Sydney, Sujata. Welcome back to Sunya To.
Thank you so much. This is a very, very special episode of yours, even if you don't realize it, because it's all about storytelling. And
Yes.
today I'm going to tell you the story of a ghost.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. That's starting as mystery already. So, uh, the ghost you will unravel yourself rather than me telling you what to do. So let you go free the way you wish to. Please go for it.
So, this is the book that you are featuring, right? This
Hmm.
is my second book, which is called Book of Whimsical Musing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see on top of it, it says Vivek Tiwari.
Right.
However, when many a times you do a search on Amazon,
Mm.
my name comes up. I don't know why, because of algorithms and all. But if you see inside, my name is also there.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah.
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 And this is not a book. This is what I'm trying to say. Why do we write books? Why do we write anything for that matter? It is a form
Wonderful.
of expression, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
Sure.
this form of expression is about this author Vivek, who's a ghost, as best as I can describe him, though he can be put into many boxes by society. But I will not, at this moment, go down that, because I don't believe in putting people in boxes, though it's an inevitable thing. We have to all live with it.
Yeah.
But this is the story. This is not a book, just an ordinary book. This is a book which has science in it, which has short stories in it, which has a sitcom published in it.
Oh,
And
great.
all by this guy who chooses not to engage with the world unless necessary.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of people, including I would say friends, families, known people, they only know that I have three children and one of them is a son. Some of them may know that his name is Vivek. Some may not even remember his name because he just doesn't engage with the world. And you know that I have a podcast, right?
Yes.
And the podcast is about presenting gems of excellence to the world. That's why I interview people and I put them out there.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest tragedy is that I have not had a chance to put my own son there, and not because he's my son, but because he's the exceptional character that he is. So you have given me an opportunity for me to present him to the world. Even if they don't see him, maybe they will know him
Yeah.
by his, and that is where this book comes into place.
Mm-hmm. So the book called Life's Musings.
Book of Whimsical Musings.
Views, a book of whimsical musings. And
Yes.
so, uh, shall we unravel the book a little to the extent that you would like to share with the audience here? And then,
Yeah.
well, to move on with the world and also to involve Vivek, I would suggest you can involve me through your podcast channel and say that you know Abdi uncle is going to be there, so you better be there. So something like that. If my my if you like power or my influence works, that'll be wonderful. That'll be my pleasure. Hmm.
Yes, I know. And I keep telling him that, he expects that he's actually, he's like a small child, which is very refreshing and innocence, trapped in a 6 feet 2 inch tall body. Okay. So he expects that the world should come looking for him, because somewhere he feels that, his being there or not there in this earth makes no difference, which
No,
I disagree. So
I disagree as
how,
well. Mm.
I tell him, how can somebody discover you and come to you when they don't even know you exist,
Mm.
right? If
Mm.
we buy jewels and lock them up in our cupboards or lockers,
Mm.
how does anybody know?
Yeah.
And unless somebody opens the locker or takes it out, or there's an income tax rate or something. I mean, the jewels stay hidden, right? In fact, even where diamonds are found in coal mines or wherever they are found in, Earth's corner, they lie there till somebody picks them out. Somebody discerns that this is a jewel. Only a jeweler can say that this is a jewel, right? So same way I tell Vivek, how is somebody going to, come to you when they don't know you exist? But in everything that I do, he exists. If I have written that book, my autobiography, it was because of Vivek's inspiration. He told me, this is the time when you write the book. When, I was writing my third book, Wink, that time also Vivek was behind it. So he's the unseen person, like a shadow behind, truly like that. So whatever I do, the podcast was also his brainchild. And he does things so selflessly. So selflessly, I have yet to see in a person.
Yeah.
And yet, and he's so minimalistic that he is, this is what I say, it's such a tragedy. People listen to all these gurus and all who, don their uniforms and all. I will not be very popular after I think do this show, but what I've learned is in life that there are times when you speak the truth and you be authentic, because if you're not, you are also one of the crowd, right, saying things which are diplomatic and to be said. So where Vivek is concerned, I will not do it. So he he's so knowledgeable that he writes to scientists, to professors, whether he gets an answers or not, but he tries to engage with them. And one or two may answer, most of them don't answer, and that's the tragedy. So our education system is so flawed, because on one hand we talk of networking, collaboration, engaging with the stakeholders, and being there, but we don't. Look at this boy who never was not 100%, those grades that parents push their children to be. None of my children were, and Vivek wasn't. But when he left his boarding school and he had to go to a university abroad, that was the time I told him, get enough marks for you to be considered. And he burned the midnight oil, because board exams you can't do anything about. Rest of the school exams you can manage. Your professors might be kind, your teachers might be kind, etc. And you might, get help from your fellow students or whatever it is. But to clear your final exams, which are board exams, there you have to really put in the hard work. And he burned the midnight oil, and he got enough percentage of marks not to be considered, well enough to go to a good college in India, because India is, 99% only, then you get into good colleges, as you would probably know. And so he managed to get into one of the world's best universities abroad, because he scored that much. But he's not, he's not that he's interested in studies that way. He's interested in studies and learning, which happened, I think, after he left university, not before.
Wonderful.
So till the university, he was a child who, went through schooling. If I am honest, this boy is more honest than me. He writes on his first page, which I've sent you, which is about how he wanted a PhD position in the universities. Because why did he want the PhD position? Not to get a PhD degree or doctorate. He wanted to be in the company of those people where he could have those discourses, debates, and discussions on thoughts and ideas. Definitely. So you need a kind of people, right? He needs that environment. So he wrote to all of them very clearly. And that too, he didn't ask in some of these places where you just have to go through structured formats, right? He asked in philosophy. And in philosophy, he said that if you are looking for a standard application and you reject me, I shall understand. But if you're not, and you're looking at it from the philosophy point of view, then consider me. And that's the first page of his book, where he says that they all rejected him. Because as an undergraduate, you have to first do your master's. Yes, then you can do a PhD, and he doesn't want that. And he actually doesn't want a degree. He just wants to be in that company. So, I mean, if you don't want to take him as a student, take him as a research scholar, an internship, something you could have given him, but the world didn't give him. So this book is so precious. He writes stories, he writes on scientific matters, and then finally he writes about the sitcom, which is published in here, All it needs is a TV producer to produce it. We haven't found it. We don't have the money, etc. But the sitcom is based on his character. You know why? Because he writes like that. If I may just read I think the opening thing.
Mhm.
Wait a minute.
And by the way, while you are searching for that particular few pages or about that sitcom,
Okay.
Sunyato is open to all kind of communications, and we do videos, we do podcasts, and so on, and most of the stuff is done in videos these days. So we can do the sitcom as well. So Sunyato is open for Vivek, and
Okay.
I have directed comedy, theater, and so on. But I have acted in plays and which have gone into videos.
There
But
you are.
so I have that kind of experience. So he needs to get in touch with me and my colleagues, because I've got directors who have worked on Doordarshan and SBS television, and I know those people, and those people, some of them have already appeared on Sunyato, and so it's not going to be difficult to get going, at least to get the sample going, so that
Yeah.
it can be sent to more established channels, television
Yes.
channels. And if the sitcom needs to be looked at, it needs to be sort of talked about, and it needs to be exchanged with ideas so that it can be improved for television purposes and so on. So those things need to happen. So if he remains a, a hidden person, just thinking that he will get all these puddings just by saying a few things, it's not going to happen. He's got to come out of the shell. And obviously you have recognized that he has a talent enough to put it in a book, and he has communicated to you via that book also and to the world. And I'm surprised that it hasn't really gotten on to other people because and I think that's because you guys have not exposed yourself enough to the world. I mean, look at me. You got in touch with me 2 years after publishing that book, although you knew that I'm into such shenanigans. But
Yes.
this is where this being slow, and I'm much slower than you guys because I've been concentrating on IT and all that. But all those things are are part and parcel of a running life. You can't just be
Absolutely.
focused on one thing and not do other things. That's why my Sunyato is for all kinds of podcasts. So enough about Sunyato, but let's get back to Vivek. So
So,
please convey this message to him, and let's bring him on to Sunyato to begin with.
so basically what I'm trying to say is, after listening to what you said just now, it's called the right time and the right place. We touching base is probably because something is meant to be, you know. He had written to a lot of producers across the globe. They all liked his script, but they all were asking as to who's going to produce. Basically, it was all about money. That's why we gave up.
That's why eventually it comes to that.
Yeah, and eventually it comes to that. But it's not, like you said, if you know people and if you have the connections, either your connections work or you find the money to make it work, right? And that has been, yes, we did not, you didn't come to our mind probably because we had lost touch. But you see, this universe has, or the higher power has, of making it happen. And if you, they say, no, that creative visualization. And I've been really thinking that this has to be made, this has to be made. Maybe now is the time it has to be made. Maybe we have to come to Australia and then, you know, we can just sit and
No,
produce.
don't have to come. Just share things. That's it. And we'll have regular meetings like this. It's not a problem. So,
So
but you're
I
welcome whenever you come to Australia. You're
yeah.
welcome.
No, to make it happen, I think if it has to be televised, then Vivek has to be present. So either
Obviously.
somebody comes to Singapore or we go to Australia or India, wherever the producer or whoever wants to do. So let me read just the sitcom, you know, what's it all about?
Mm.
based on the real life characters, sitcom TV series, character profile and general concept, Vivek or Viveki, and that is his pet name, like we call him, as he is affectionately known at home, is a 30-year-old male virgin, undiagnosed Asperger's patient. He insists that he's an Asperger's patient, which I don't agree with him, who lives with his parents and to date sleeps in his mother's room with her. His father sleeps separately in another room, and it is not because the husband and wife have issues, but because Vivek is the apple of their eye and they're unable to tell him he must sleep on his own. Now, this is not to be taken literally. This is his interpretation and witty sense of humor. Okay, so everything is not totally gospel truth. Vivek is mostly useless. Again, that is his interpretation. Nobody is saying that he's useless. And his parents, unable to get him a job through their many connections, who are mostly willing to assist out of sympathy, only serves to inform his complete failure at life. Secretly, his parents planned to invest all the father's savings in setting up a $500,000 retail business as a way to avoid having the son fall deeper into ineptitude. This also enables the son to be presented with some respectability when meeting others. Of course, things don't always play out as they hope, and they constantly pick up the pieces of an adult who lacks complete self-awareness. It becomes $1 million babysitting project as Vivek lacks any notion of service and exchange that require the injection of constant funding to maintain the commercial operations. Key facts about Vivek also include never having touched a girl romantically, never kissed a girl, or had a girlfriend for even a day. He has never actually held formal employment in a real objective measure. He doesn't have friends and lacks the ability to even accomplish that, evident in the empty contact list on his phone. Of course, he thinks highly of himself and in fact has the predisposition that the world doesn't value him nearly enough. However, Vivek is blessed with one natural gift after all. He has an overactive metabolism that prevents him from gaining any weight from the compulsive eating habit he has. Of course, Vivek believes he's a lean, mean machine because of his incredible discipline and clean diet free from dairy, gluten, and refined sugar.